Snorkeling at Molokini Island. About 10 years ago, I went to visit my brother in Maui. He dropped out of college in Vegas during his freshman year back in the late 90s, bought a van, moved to Maui, and started living on the beach. A friend there hooked him up with a construction job. He lived in that van for a couple of years and got his ass kicked by natives a couple of times for parking in the wrong place. 10 years later, he was engaged, had a house in Kihei, and I went out to see him. Maui was awesome. My brother and his fiancée showed me all the sights. We camped in Hana, in the rainforest area, which felt like camping in Jurassic Park. We hit the beaches every day. We also had a snorkeling trip planned for Molokini Island. His buddy had a boat and was going to take us out at 7 in the morning. The night before, my brother and I decided to go for a nighttime bike ride on the pathway down the beach and then into town. One of the few bars in the area, which was also a Chinese restaurant, was doing karaoke. We decided to have a drink or two and see if we could get on the list. We ended up singing a few songs each. One of mine was Rocket Man by Elton John. We drunkenly rode back home and kept drinking until around 5. By then, I was already horribly sunburned with fever and nausea and everything. Somehow, my brother woke me up at 6:30. I did not feel good. We got in his truck, each drank a cold beer, and headed to the marina. His buddy was there with his boat in the water, and we headed out to Molokini Island. It took about 30 minutes, and the morning was gorgeous. I was happy to be there. We anchored in the middle of the island, which is a big crescent shape, and put on our snorkels. The three of us jumped off the boat. I hit the water, tried breathing through the snorkel, and immediately had a panic attack. I surfaced and started treading water, but I couldn't see my brother or his friend anywhere. I looked underwater and still didn't see either of them. At that point, I tried to compose myself. This was an awesome opportunity, and I didn't want to just climb back on the boat, so I slowly learned how to snorkel. I took it really slow and got to see active reefs, tons of fish, and a couple of sea turtles. It was everything I had hoped for. I even started swimming down to get a closer look, then ripping the snorkel out and choking for air at the surface. When I started getting tired, I looked back toward the boat, which was way further away than I would have believed. My brother and his friend were still nowhere in sight. I started swimming back, and by the time I got there, my arms were dead. I swam to the back and realized there was no ladder. I swam around the boat, no ladder. I waited there holding on to the boat for 10 minutes or so, and then, with the adrenaline of a mother lifting a car off of her child, pulled myself up into the boat. My brother and his friend showed up about 10 minutes later and easily climbed in. By the time we headed back, dark clouds and a heavy wind had picked up. We had a choppy ride of about 40 minutes back to the boat ramp. My brother, also incredibly hungover, threw up over the side. If his friend hadn't passed a joint halfway through the trip, I would have been in the same boat. We made it back. I don't know if I'll ever snorkel in the middle of the ocean again. I just saw that a snorkeling trip out to that island cost around $200. Mine was free, but it was pretty dangerous.